She threw away a 10-year marriage to kiss her celebrity crush. This woman just went viral because of what happened when she attended a Romeo Santos concert. At the concert, she was invited on stage by Romeo, and Romeo gave her like a little peck, but she wanted more, and she full-on kissed the man. Now, the video of this moment went viral, and the woman's husband ended up seeing it, and he filed for divorce very shortly after. Now, the woman has been interviewed after this moment, and she said that she's very sad that the kiss ended up ending her marriage, but she also said that Romeo has been her celebrity crush for forever. It was an achievement to actually get to kiss him. Very sadly for the woman though, Romeo doesn't feel the same way at all. If you watch the video, you can see the woman kind of forces the kiss onto Romeo, and after she kisses him, Romeo says what translates to "what harassment." So I think it's very safe to say that Romeo did not feel the same way this woman did about the kiss. As for the woman's husband, I really hope that he ends up being okay after this. According to the woman, they weren't on the best terms when the kiss happened, but the kiss ended up apparently being the straw that broke the camel's back.
I went on ahead and did it because we weren't on the best of terms right at that point in time. Do you know how dumb you sound? There was a woman in the comments, and thankfully plenty of women, that were saying the same thing. Can we call it what it is? She essayed him. If it was a man who did this to his celebrity crush, he would have been dragged, rightfully so. He gave her a peck to be nice, but she forced a full-on kiss, and she needs to be held accountable for him like that. And that's exactly what it is. Shut your stupid behind up.
A father's job is to prepare his children for the real world.
Yeah.
So that's the direction. I'm going to prepare you so that when you move to the world, transit into the world, it is a smooth transition.
Yeah.
You're not shocked. So it's not the environment of home is different than the world. We're going to create at home, and I'm going to show you at home what the world really is like. So the father, is usually associated with tough love. He's a kind man, he's a loving man, he's a working man, but it's tough love. Tough love because he's going to tell you, I love you, son, but you can be better. I love you, son, but that was wrong, and you got to take responsibility for it.
Yeah.
Why? Because that's how the world is.
Yeah.
If you don't do your chores at home, mommy's going to forgive you. At work, you're going to get fired.
Yeah, exactly.
You know what I mean? Like, the world is not mommy. So I was having this conversation with a friend, and we're speaking about that. The masculine is weakened and the feminine is overpowered. So the whole women power, whatever. I'm just like, we got too much power. We got to chill a little bit. We need nature to balance itself out again, which means men need to step into their power. And their power means I am now stepping into responsibility. Masculinity and responsibility goes hand in hand. So a boy becomes a man when he's responsible for a group or another.
Absolutely.
You're the older sister.
Yeah.
If you both were into the same guy,
We were into the same guy once.
and how'd that play out?
We hung out all together.
Did you guys share him?
I wish.
What you mean by that? That's both of you at once.
Take turns. Take turns. No. What do you mean by that? I don't think he would be able to stay up.
Oh, you're like that?
Nah, boys last like a minute. Props.
With you two? Only a minute?
With me, just like 30 seconds.
30 seconds. Together.
1 minute.
You guys are blood related?
This is work.
Yes. Make sure to stay in the frame.
How old are you?
22.
Test his English. English or Italian?
Italian.
Si sposti, say gay.
That's kind of an old trend.
What in the world is going on here? Like, what's going on?
What's your favorite thing about Mimi?
She say, and I do.
When it comes to modern dating, there is something called the mental load. And that just basically means the logistics. Women think about these things all the time. We are conditioned at a very young age to think this way. Tasks around the house, keeping track of to-do lists, birthdays, sending holiday cards. And it's not guys' fault, but they weren't conditioned to think this way. So when women meet a guy who can move things forward, they don't always have to keep doing the footwork. It is so refreshing.
Where sometimes women get on here and kind of act as if they have like these superpowers or these abilities that are just so much better than men's ability to do the same thing. But then when they explain it, it's just general general, like, adult activity. I genuinely wonder what they think men do when they're not around. Tasks to do around the house, to-do lists, remembering someone's birthday. Like, you think men don't do any of those things? Not only that, but it's just that these things are just so hard for them to do. Mind you, this is her reasoning of saying this is why it's important for men to plan dates. But it just makes me want to ask, why are you holding these random men accountable for the fact that you get stressed out? Especially if we're talking about a first date, okay? Like, this mental load that you're carrying has no responsibility on the man, like, that you just met. So it's like you're trying to say that men should plan dates because you can't handle being a grown-up? Like, I'm not getting it. I'm not understanding.
Somebody in the comments said, being on here made me realize that people as a whole will find any way to rationalize the stuff that they say. Pretty much.
Okay, I have a question for men who are single, specifically probably more like single dads. But I'm like just getting back into the dating scene, and I'm curious what your guys' deal breakers are, because I'm pretty confident, and immediately the second I dip my toe into it, I'm already feeling self-conscious about everything. So what are your deal breakers?
Once again, if you ask, men are going to tell you. It's up to you to take it and accept it. A guy said 40 plus here. This is funny. Didn't you get the news? All good men gave up and aren't dating. We sit at home in peace. Another guy said tattoos and a nose ring. Another dude said nose rings will absolutely break me. I can't stand them. Some guy said smoking, piercings, tattoos. And the last guy, Pat Hogan, said expecting us to take on all the responsibilities of dad without any authority. Pretty much all men are going to say that.
Compiled a list of things that my wife has said to me that I could never possibly say to her. Never in a million years say to her.
You made a list?
I made a list.
Okay.
It's on my phone.
I don't say anything bad.
Okay. Are you really going to wear that?
Well, okay.
That one comes out often. Wow, that's a lot of food. And in that same tone too, that's a lot of food.
Because sometimes you put so much on your plate and I know you're not going to eat it all and then it goes to waste.
Does it go to waste? Does it go to waste? You smell like you need a shower. I shower daily.
I know.
Okay, it's okay. Are you stupid?
You actually, the other day I had my notebook.
If I ever said that,
no, but these.
I would be destroyed.
These need context to them.
Oh, this is she sings this song when she refers to me, how I am as a person. He's a bit of a fixer-upper. That's what she says to me. Yep, that's how she sings about me. And then when we talk about our daughter and how, you know, we made our daughter, she says, you only did 2 minutes worth of work. Only did 2 minutes worth of work. Huh. I mean, I've helped raise her ever since, but yeah, just the 2 minutes worth of work. That's all I got. 2 minutes, yeah. Cool. Oh yeah, this is my favorite.
You have more?
Yeah, I have more. This is what she has said to me on more than one occasion, and actually one of the first things she said to me when we started dating. If you ever shit your pants, I will leave you. Right then and there.
I don't have a stomach.
And to be fair, over the last 8 years together, I have never shit my pants.
I'm still here.
And she has shit pants many times.
Many times?
Many times.
What?
Many times. I have not. I have been terrified to shit my pants. I don't know.
I'm sorry that I'm so mean.
I'm not a mean person.
She said, well, when I called you stupid, that needs context. It needs context. Once again, he said, if I were to say any of these things in any context and you posted here online, I would be flamed. Leave him immediately is what the women would be saying.
So I just heard this girl talk about how she don't believe in 50-50 and that how when you really love a man, you wouldn't want to see him just work his life away. He don't have any enjoyment, any hobbies, can't even go out with friends. And you know what that reminded me of? Everybody Hates Chris. Rochelle literally didn't give Julius an ounce of money time. Remember one of the episodes, it was his birthday and all he asked is like basically for her to go out with the kids. And she was like guilt tripping him, like, what father doesn't want to be with his kids, or what father like doesn't want to give, or she was like guilt tripping him. And then also remember when it was Father's Day and all he got was like macaroni and ties, and he was like, I don't even wear ties. No one notices Julius. Everyone's always so fixated on the other characters, but no one ever notices how it was like a cry for help. Like, he basically told her in so many ways that he didn't feel appreciated or seen, or he didn't feel like he had time for himself. So many ways he showed that it was financial scarcity. Like, it was like bills, bills, bills. And even in Everybody Still Hates Chris, the animation, he went on a whole rampage, a whole rant, just from them saying it's not fair. So it's just like, how can you be with a man and you didn't even know he didn't like ties? Or how can you be with a man that is all about budgeting and coupons? But it was like in every single episode, it seemed like she wanted something. And if it wasn't every single one, it's just like, come on now. Y'all know how Rochelle's character was. And her most famous line to me was I don't gotta do this. My man has 2 jobs. And it's like, that's a lot of you. Like, y'all be like, my man has 2 jobs. My man don't believe in 50-50. But behind the scenes, your man is struggling. His mental health is down. So when I was seeing that woman's comments just now, and people in the comments like, oh, I try to speak up on it, but people call me a pick-me. Pick-me's are for that literally are pitting men over their children. Women that literally cannot go without a man. They will let a man borrow their car. They will give a man money. They will let a man gaslight and manipulate them with nothing. Like, these are women that don't even get the bare minimum, and they're just up and available and accessible to a man. Like, they don't care what a man do, they're going to stick around. Those are pick-me's. Pick-me's are not women that are emotionally available and very aware of the fact that the shit gets draining. It does. And I just feel like it's weird if women are carrying around that mentality like a man just has to work, like he just has to provide, and I don't care what job he in, I don't care how he feel, he better not quit because he needs to provide for us. Like, that's crazy.
These modern women will work the dog out of you, but then have the audacity to get upset should you say, can I have something to eat?
Who would like me and my kids, which were named on the eviction notice, all other occupants, to leave the home that we've been living in since 2010 so you can move in here. And you are solely one person?
I'm not the owner of the home. I had nothing to do with the eviction. But since you are being evicted, yes, I may move down to that home, which my parents own.
Who's paid the bills here for since 2010?
Who's paid the bills there?
Yes.
I paid bills.
Yeah.
I can see what you're saying, but legally your name is not on the deed. So all of this that you're going back and forth about is not going to be of any substance, or it's not going to matter.
Yes, you have. Who paid for the remodels that have happened to this house? Probably over $60,000. Who paid for those?
I have no knowledge of $60,000 worth of remodels, but what's the relevance?
Did you get new windows in the house?
Objection, Your Honor. I don't see how this is relevant.
Yeah, this has got to be a cross-examination, and she's totally not prepared. This is really, honestly, and truly, once again, I see where she's coming from, but this is, I mean, it's in connection, so it ties in general, but you're going to need statements, evidence, like, basically, you need to produce a deed at this point in time that the house is yours, or you need to leave.
Okay. Ma'am, how is it relevant, any improvements or repairs to the house?
Because this was our home. This was Michael's home.
Well, ma'am, if you could present any deeds or anything like that showing that it's deeded to his name or the two of your name, then the court would again, entertain that, but you've not produced anything to that extent. So the court will sustain the objection. You'll have to move on.
Thank you, Your Honor.
Okay. All right. How many assets of ours have your parents had in their name? The Buick you drove since 2011 when you got it until
Even that wouldn't matter. It would still be in their name, their property, and they could do whatever they wanted with their property, period.
you changed it into your name, was not driven by you, and
That
you
wa-
only.
It wasn't my asset until I bought it off of them. And then, yes, the title was transferred into my name. That's how it usually occurs.
It says that it wasn't bought for anything on the paperwork. Is that a lie?
Objection, Your Honor. I didn't hear that.
Yeah, I didn't catch that either, ma'am. I'll have to re-answer it so we can hear.
In the transfer papers, it said that it was not bought for anything, wasn't paid off. It wasn't your credit cards that paid on that or your money that came from an account sent over to your mother's account to pay for it.
I didn't send any money to my mother's account.
How did you pay the bills here? How'd the money get to that?
That doesn't even matter if he paid them for the house. It is still in their name. And once again, they can do whatever they want to with their property, for better or for worse. If they default on their loan or the house is foreclosed, guess who's going to have to get out of the house? Guess who's going to have that foreclosure on their record? His parents.
Bills go on my credit card that I pay.
The bills that are in your mother's name.
Well, some are in her name, some are in mine.
Isn't it true only the trash is in your name?
I would have to go through the bills. The ADT is in my name as well. There's more
Yes,
than
because
just the trash.
did we not put the ADT in? Did we not have that installed?
I get where you're coming from, but once again, this is grasping at straws. Ma'am, this is going to be a tough pill to swallow, but get out of the house. It's the same thing that men have to go through when they are blindsided by divorces every day. They try to work it out. They try to talk it out. Ain't no talking it out. I'm leaving. Pack your bags and leave. There was one man that he married a single mother who had like 2 or 3 kids, I think. Took care of the kids as his own. Worked every day, I think he said. Went to church, the whole nine, as a good citizen. Turned around, divorced him, took the house, and when he tried to go pack up his truck with some of his things to leave, the officer came to him and said, take that boombox out of your bag and put it back in the house. It has to be personal stuff. So he said, okay. He removed some other personal stuff, tried to leave, and then the officer said, step out of the car, step out of the truck, excuse me. And so the man's like, this is my truck. It's like, no, this is actually her truck. And I think it was both of their names on her or something like that. Something or another to where she got the truck, actually. And so he said, I had to take out a lot of different stuff. And really, it was just down to a duffel bag. And I ended up having to take that duffel bag and walk and find somewhere to stay. Wow.
Have y'all ever noticed that a guy can decline an invitation of going out because his girlfriend won't let him, and then everyone understands? But the second a girl declines an invitation because her man won't let her go out, everyone gets concerned. I feel like that doesn't make sense.
Do you think a man is less of a man if he can't change a flat tire?
I do think so. Me and my roommates talk about it all the time, and that's one of the qualities we look for in a man, just to know that we can be safe and protected with them.
Is a woman less of a woman if she can't cook a meal from scratch?
No,
Why is there a difference?
because I don't know how to cook a meal from scratch. So,
What if a man doesn't know how to change a tire?
well, I guess it's okay, but if a man wants a woman who can cook, then they shouldn't date me.
I'm glad you caught yourself and you realized maybe this was a dumb statement after all.
When my husband and I met, It was great. I had plenty of it. I enjoyed it. He enjoyed it. We had fun together. And then once I knew I had him, I put walls up. I didn't want to get undressed around him anymore. If he came in and he tried to hug me, I would jerk away. And I had all kinds of stories built up about why I was doing this. I denied to myself the real reasons why, which is what most of us as women do. I didn't withdraw it or withhold it completely. Women listening who are open-minded, you'll know that we have this mental calendar where it's like, okay, I had it. That'll probably buy me a week or two. And then that time starts running out and we start building this anxiety of when we're going to need to engage with again, to give just enough to make it seem just enough to keep getting what we want. And we let our stories and our games begin. And the sad part is that a good man falls for all those stories.
Bare minimum. And like she said, a good man is going to fall for it. But he's actually not falling for it. He's trying, even though he knows that you're probably lying, to respect your space. But this is what modern women do. They continue to take up space. And the more space that you give them, they take that. So when a man says, I'm trying to protect you and I'm trying to provide for you, but you keep on encroaching on the space that I provided for your protection. And then the woman says, you're controlling me. I need to get out of this space. But once she gets out of the space, she realizes rather quickly in a lot of instances, wait a minute, I actually don't belong out here. I actually don't need to be out here. And then that's when she tries to come back. Oh, I'll give you anything. I'll give you everything. That once a week, that can go to twice a week, 3 times a week. As a matter of fact, you can have it whenever you want. Just allow me back into this space and I will make it what it should have been in the first place. And most men nowadays are like, no, I don't want that from you. I don't want anything from you. You can leave. I tried to give you the space. I tried to understand where you're coming from, but it was always this, always an excuse. And I don't want to deal with it anymore. As a matter of fact, I found somebody that doesn't have those same excuses, that knows how to take my space and really expand it and really enlarge it. And really, they know how to do what they're supposed to do with my space. Right? So I can protect and I can provide, and it's no stress on me. It's not a hassle on me because I know what I'm supposed to be doing, what my role is, and so does she. So you can kick rocks. Have a good day.